What's up, you friggin' geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form when you're given just a graph, right? Now, if you remember, this is the slope-intercept formula. Y is equal to mx plus b, all right? Now, there's two important pieces of information we get from this formula. So first of all, this m right here, the m, it stands for the slope. Okay, and then this other part right here, this b, the b stands for the y-intercept. Okay, so in order to basically translate this graph into this equation, these are the only two pieces of information we need to figure out. So first of all, let's start with the y-intercept, because that's normally a little easier to find right off the bat. Okay, so the y-intercept is just the point where this graph right here crosses the y-axis. Okay, so you can see it hits the y-axis at 3, right? Positive 3, very important, positive 3, okay? So our b right here, our y-intercept, is equal to positive 3. Okay, cool, we already found one piece of information. Now we just need to figure out what the slope is. All right, so now the slope, if you remember, the basic equation or definition of a slope is the slope is equal to the rise over the run. Okay, so all you need to do to figure out the slope is find 2 points along this graph. Okay, so we already found 1 point, right, at the y-intercept right here. Okay, so now we just need to find one more point. And ideally you want to find somewhere where it crosses these little crosshatches exactly. So it looks like this spot right here, right, at -5, -1. Now, in order to figure out the slope, all you need to do is move from the point that's on the left to the point that's on the right. So in order to get from here to here, we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then coming back over here, that means our rise was 4, right, because we went up 4, and then that's going to go over our run, which was 5, right, because we went over 5 spaces. Okay, so then our slope right here, I'll just rewrite it one more time, is 4 over 5, or 4/5. Okay, so our slope is equal to 4/5. Okay, and I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Okay, so now all I need to do is plug in my values right here into my equation. So we're going to have y is equal to our slope, which we found to be 4/5, right? 4/5 times x, right? Times x, and then plus our y-intercept, which was +3, right? So we're going to have +3. Okay, so then this would be the equation right here. Okay, now one last thing I want to point out is looking at your graph right here, we can see that it has a positive slope, right? So since it has a positive slope, you should expect whatever number you get here for your slope to also be positive, which in this case it is, right? It's positive 4/5. Okay, so always keep that in mind when you're, writing down your answer here, because you want to make sure it matches with the slope of the graph, right? So hopefully that wasn't too bad. Let's try one more example with a negative slope. Okay, so here is our next example, all right? So as you can see, this line has a negative slope, right? So when we figure out what our slope is, we should expect to have a negative answer, right? So first of all, let's write down our slope-intercept formula, which is y is equal to mx plus b, okay? So again, the only two things we need to figure out are our slope and our y-intercept, okay? So again, the first kind of easy thing to figure out is your y-intercept. Okay, so again, that's just where this line right here hits your y-axis. So it hits the y-axis at right here, -7. Okay, so we know our y-intercept, b, is equal to -7. Okay, now let's figure out what m is equal to. So again, the slope is equal to the rise over the run, right? So in order to figure that out, we just need to find 2 points along our graph right here. Okay, so we already found one right here, right, at our y-intercept. So let's find one more, which actually looks like this point right here, right at -1, -5. Okay, so we have 2 points plotted right here, right? So again, all you do is start from the point that's on the left and you move to the one that's at the right, okay? So in order to get from here to here, first we have to go down 1, 2 spots, and then we have to go over 1, right? So to fill out our rise over run, the rise, we went down 2, and then for our run, we went over 1, right? So our slope right here is equal to -2 over 1. Or simplified, this would just be equal to -2, right? -2 divided by 1 is just -2, okay? So our slope right here is equal to -2. And that works out, right? Because since we have a negative slope, again, we expected to find a negative number for our slope right here, right? Okay, so we found the two things we were looking for, right? The y-intercept and the slope. So now let's just plug it into our equation right here. So it's going to be y is equal to our slope, which again is -2, and then times x right here, okay? And then plus or minus our b. So here it's going to be -7, right? So -7. All right, so then the equation of this line is right here. Y is equal to -2x minus 7. So if you found the video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any other questions or want to see any other examples, just let me know in the comment section below. Also, there's a couple playlists attached that I think you'll find helpful, so definitely check those out, and I'll see you there.